New York's been quiet, too quiet. But when smoke rises, Cosmos brings the fire. GWP, yeah, we rise from the block. Guys with powers on the move, time to put smoke on lock. He running drugs, running guns, think he can't be stopped. But we the mega hero squad and we taking that shot. GWP, yeah, the city gon' see. When Cosmos calls the plate, that's a whole new league. New York in the business, but we fight as a team. Guys with powers, baby, welcome to the regime.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the GWP launch live stream here on the Madness Entertainment Group. My name is Jerome Hinds, and you saw there the Guys with Powers trailer. And before we get started, let me set the mood with a bit of music. I've got the backing track to the song you just heard, and we'll play it lightly in the background. Now, I've been guilty of playing my music too loud sometimes, so make sure it's at the right level. So yes, I'm here, and I've just been joined by Dan Sehn. Let me add him to the stage. Here he is, Dan the man. Okay, Dan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I am here.
Yeah, I can hear you also.
All right.
Now, I'm not sure what's happened to Raul. Let me remove my canvas from the stage. And I've just realized that my Wacom has crashed. Could you believe that?
Really?
Typical. Now, the thing is this. This is not on my PC. On my PC, you can restart the drivers quite easily, but on the Mac, it's a bit more tricky. So give me a second, and let me have a quick look here to see if I can actually remedy this quickly. Let me see if I've got a Wacom. Let me try and restart my... Let me try and restart my devices. God, Jesus.
Oh, this is a day of technical problems.
You know, and it's been working fine. Well, I don't know, for months. It hasn't crashed out for a long time. Oh, dear. Never mind. We should come back to that. So yes, we're here for the Guys with Powers Kickstarter Launch Party. And we just discovered some news. Explain to the people, Dan, that the procedures over at Kickstarter are a bit different, right?
Yeah, it has changed now, I believe, due to the Stripe restrictions now. They are, because this is campaign number 16 for me, I guess, and it was always pretty instantaneous that I would click in and then be able to launch. But now they are extending the review process a bit. So it doesn't look like we are able to launch at this moment.
Man. So how long is this review process?
Says up to 3 days.
And it just told you that?
Yes.
God damn. This is a disaster. We've got Kickstarter changing their procedures and my computer crashing. Hang on.
That's what I'm saying. It's a day of technical problems.
Yeah, I'm going to try to reboot my Wacom here. And then because, so you're saying 3 days, it should be okay.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing really questionable about it. But like I said, we've seen that Stripe is kind of cracking down a little bit. That's the payment method that Kickstarter uses, for the people who don't know. They're cracking down a bit. And
yes, they are.
Apparently Kickstarter might be taking a closer look at all the campaigns, and that is the situation now, where I guess it'll be a lengthier process. I don't know if all my campaigns were just going through, maybe the first one, for all I can't remember, but maybe that one had a longer review, and then they just started grandfathering me in and just, click for the review. They would say ready to launch, and then I would launch. So now click the review. We'll let you know within 3 days.
God
Let's
damn.
see what it says.
Okay.
I think it said.
All right, so you heard that, people. So this may not be a launch party now. So let's make it a preview party, shall we? Right. So I'm going to share.
Get a review by June 17th. That's even longer, right?
June 17th is when they think it'll be cleared, is it?
They said you'll get an answer by June 17th. So they're saying 3 days, but that's 5 days. So.
Oh God. So anyway, I'm going to put up on screen, guys with powers. Now I've already uploaded the PDF, but the problem with when I upload the PDF, I can't zoom in. So I'm going to share another screen, which is nice and big. Okay, so Dan.
That's just on the preview. As I told you, that big yellow box there was just something I put on preview that I sent to a couple of reviewers and yourself. So that indicia that's on that page that you opened up at first, that will be on. That won't be in the comic, but I just put on that preview copy because we didn't have the credits page, which is usually the inside front cover. Didn't have that prepared.
Got it. Okay. So we got a few pages here. We can have a quick review. No spoilers. We try not to give too many spoilers, of course.
This is a good opportunity for everyone to get on the. You can still click and get on the pre-launch page. So if you go to the click on the campaign and hit notify me, then you will know when Kickstarter has approved this project, and then we.
Cool. You can see the link there on the screen. Well, if you go to Kickstarter and just type in Guys with Powers, it'll come up. Not a problem. Not a problem. So, okay. So weeks ago on our other show, Raul. Sorry, Dan, are you still there? Hang on. I think Dan is frozen. Hang on. Let me escape this. Dan, are you there? He looks like he's frozen in time. Oh dear. I think we've lost Dan. Hang on. Let's have a look. That's a dodgy connection. I tell you what, it's all happening today, Facebook was down. My Cintiq is crashed. Kickstarter has changed their policy, which means that we're just having a preview launch today, a preview of the launch. They say things happen in threes, so that's the third one. Okay, so Dan's disappeared. He should reappear. He should reappear shortly. Now I'm supposed to be here entertaining you with some drawing, but my Cintiq is crashed, and I need to reboot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a quick ad to see if I could very, very quickly administer some kind of fixing of my Cintiq. So meanwhile, let me run a quick trailer for one of my other shows that I do here. Now, do I have a trailer? Mainstream month. I'll run this. This is amazing. So many things are not working today. Extraordinary. Okay. God damn. Okay, let's try this.
Paying tribute and great homage to the United States of America on its esteemed 250th birthday. comes How to Draw Characters from the ThunderZone Activity Book, a 188-page activity book that launches on July 4th, 2026. Written and illustrated by Jerome Judge Hinds, president of the Association of Comic Artists Singapore. Comes the ultimate tribute to the birthplace that brought to the world the splendor of superheroes and comic books. Jerome is a creator and senior editor at USA-based ThunderZone Comics, and in the book, he shares with you the knowledge and methodologies of his work from over the past 8 years, all neatly wrapped up in a 10-chapter step-by-step tutorial. He covers full-length character construction, studies in hands and feet, secrets in foreshortening with props and weapons wielding, plus penciling techniques, inking, digital coloring, and even comic book cover layouts. It's all here and available in both soft or hardcover. And if you really can't wait to get your hands on the physical thing, there's always the digital guidebook edition available for pre-order now. How to Draw Characters from the ThunderZone Activity Book, with Jerome Judge Hinds launching Independence Day 2026. And available now for digital pre-orders, exclusively from Amazon.com.
Okay, now it's Dan. Dan was back. He's disappeared again. Okay, so you saw that and you heard that. That was a book that I've got coming up. Okay, Dan is back, which is also part of the ThunderZone. Okay, so Dan, can you hear me?
Yes. The desktop kicked me out, so I'm on the phone.
I'll tell you, it's all happening today, right? First of all, Facebook went down. The Kickstarter sprung new policies on us. My Cintiq crashed. You disappeared. Now, what else can go wrong today?
This is the perfect storm.
You know, I can see we've got a few viewers, so the party must go on. Okay, let's get back to this full screen. Hang on. I want to preview this book with you, see what's what. And as I said, try not to give too many spoilers. We're missing Raul. I'm not sure where he is. But fourth. Okay, Dan, we've got guys with powers, as you can see on the screen, right? There's 6 of them. And
I'm going to pull this up on
before we get into the characters, okay, what was the inspiration behind the concept?
Let me just get on this screen here so I could see it as we're doing it here. Well, the guys with powers, I had just always been creating some characters, and you know, in being half Dominican myself, I didn't really have like a Dominican character. So the guy in the red, white, and blue actually has a Dominican flag on his chest. But the whole costume is pretty much a take on the Dominican flag. So I brought in that character, and then I had just like an inspiration to go, you know, a little more, less like big scale, and actually go towards like a more local neighborhood type thing. Now, except for probably, I guess, 4 years ago now, beyond that, I was a lifelong New Yorker. And, you know, I spent time in Brooklyn. That friend of mine that I told you about, who had went to School of Visual Arts and studied under Eisner and Gene Colan and all these guys, he was in Flatbush. So anytime I would hang out with him, I would go over to Flatbush and then various parts of Brooklyn. Actually, right from childhood, visiting my grandmother in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, because my father had grown up in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. So, yeah, instead of like, I guess one show I was on, they said instead of saving the universe, these guys are just trying to save the neighborhood. It kind of went into that, like,
Right.
kind of like a different scale, and making it more like a little more towards a family than a out and out just teammates on a super team. So I just always striving to do something a little different from past projects. So yeah, that's all that combined led me to this GWP, which I guess I was watching a show, and I don't think it was NWO, but just like I think it was this female group of rappers who SWV, they went by initials.
Yeah.
So that kind of like, I think it'd be cool to have a super team that goes by 3 initials like that. So that's where that came about.
So you said you have Dominican roots.
Yes, half.
Right. Oh, right. Okay. So what, is that on your father or mother's side?
That was the mother's side.
Right, cool.
Yeah.
I had no idea about that. All right. Okay, so that's the inspiration behind the concept, right? So let's move on here. And now here's the beginning. This preview is gonna be on the Kickstarter, right?
Yeah, I'll have some preview pages up there.
Good. Just double checking that I'm not putting any spoilers out there.
Well, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I got to actually, that'll be on the Kickstarter. And it's not the team, it's another superhero coming in to fight some crime.
Okay, but there's a twist. You see, there's a twist here. Are we okay to reveal this twist?
Yeah, why not for the show here?
Yeah. Okay, well, see what's happening here, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is we've got some bad guys here. Obviously, the guys with the balaclavas are looking like bank robbers or what have you. And this good guy shows up, right? And I thought this is, when I was reading this little preview, I quite like this part. And he shows up, does the superhero bit. Oh no, hang on. Not too fast, Jerome. He does the superhero bit, takes the guys out. But then we actually see that here's your main bad guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so what's the name of this main bad guy?
Elijah Smoke is the main bad guy.
Elijah Smoke, right? So yes. So this guy is not really a superhero, right? He's kind of like doppelganging and actually in league with the bad guy. Because I'm a superhero guy, when I was going to do the sketching for tonight, I wanted to, this guy's Captain Justice, right?
Captain Justice, yeah.
I kind of like Captain Justice, actually. What caught my eye about Captain Justice is you see he's got the badge on the left side of his chest.
Mm-hmm.
That means it's a non-symmetrical costume design. I find that interesting. Yeah, and I like his costume. His pants are outside. I'm a total superhero guy. He's got the line over the arms like Green Lantern. I quite like Captain Justice. But okay, so anyway, he's a doppelganger. He's not really a superhero. He's more of a supervillain. And we've got Elijah Smoke down here, bottom right.
Yeah, you can see Captain Just there. It seems like he has powers or whatever, but then you see that it's tech. He's taken off the cape. He has that flight pack, and he, we find out, that is tech, and that Elijah Smoke, who's, behind a lot of the corruption. And this is Bedford-Stuyvesant, but we call it Bed-Stuy in New York. It's an area of Brooklyn. So he's, set up over there, and he's, got big resources to the point where he's buying this tech to have this phony superhero supposedly saving the day. But then, as you can see, he's making off with the loot.
Yes. Okay, hold that thought there. We've got a couple of comments coming in here. Who have we got here? Sorry. I'm here. How's it going, guys? Alp Comics. I must confess, I'm a bit of a noob on the block here. Do you know who that is?
Tony, who...
Tommy. All right.
Yep. Tony Petrie,
Nice,
who writes the Owl and Angelfish comic book.
Yes. Oh, a nice one.
From ThunderZone Comics.
Pops obviously knows who he is. Nice one. Oh no, we got Kerry here. What an opportunity to show your book too, Jerome. Come on, dude, slide it in. I did, Kerry. Okay, Kerry has been scolding me that I'm not hard sell enough. But while I was trying to fix my Wacom and you were offline, Dan, I did play the trailer for my book. Did you see that, Kerry? Did you see that? Kerry says, comic book looks great. Yes, Dan, I agree with her. Did Jerome do the art in this? No, I didn't. What's the name of the artist?
We should get through the credits here. It's Ron Williams.
Ron Williams.
Doing the art. Ron Charles Williams, who done a number of projects with me, and he actually did the second two issues of Big House Blues. So Big House Blues 3 and 4 were Ron Williams, and I've had artwork for years now with Ron, and great superhero artist, as you can see, a great artist in general, but I just thought he'd be great for this particular project. Because of his action.
Yeah, I like his storytelling. His storytelling is on point. It's very, very good. Yeah.
Yeah, so he does that. Tio Piniero does the colors. And I have Ray McKay doing the dialogue, or what they call in comics scripting. But if you write scripts, then people think they wrote the story, because in movies, a script is kind of like the story. So, Ray did the dialogue.
You kind of went the Stan Lee route here. You kind of did the plot and the outline, but you didn't actually do the scripting up front.
See, that's why I don't say script, because that's the misconception. I did fully write the story, and I had a few key passages of dialogue, in the fact that I had, if something is dialogue driven, a scene, then I have to kind of have that in place. But it wasn't a polished script. It wasn't like that. Stan Lee would write like a couple paragraphs and tell Jack Kirby to draw a comic. So I didn't do that. I wrote out a full comic panel by panel, again, just with dialogue here and there. And then Ron drew it, and then Tio colored it. So you have all that done. Ray comes in, and what Ray did is crucial, though, because again, I just have spots of dialogue here and there, Ray's coming in and really giving the meat and potatoes of, you know, writing out the dialogue and everything like that.
Well, actually, I did something similar out here in Singapore, you know. Okay, by the way, if you're tuning in, of course, Dan is over there with you in America. It's 12, well, we start at 12 noon. I'm all the way out in Singapore, so it's 12 midnight for me, right? So I'm just going to say, yes, Dan, I did the same thing out here. I run a comic book association, and I wanted to involve more of the writers. Okay, the official name is the Association of Comic Artists Singapore. But with all the lectures that I give, I always make a point of mentioning comic books are story driven. I mean, sure, I'm an artist and I pay a lot of attention to visuals, but without a story, our visuals can be quite meaningless. Because, you know, I mean, you've seen it before. Right. Comics with great writers can survive, but comics with great artists, but poor stories, they still fail. So what I did, and with Supercross, which goes out through ThunderZone Comics as well with Dan, is I plotted 6 comics and gave 2 issues to 3 different writers to actually script as an experiment and a demonstration to actually share with the students and people in general out here in Singapore, just to show them a different methodology of how to create a comic. So what I basically did was what I call script nails. I described what happened on each page, and then I drew it, but then the writers actually crafted the script that went onto each page. So yes, so I think what you've done is very interesting here, and you know, it gives you a chance. I don't know, Dan, do you class yourself as more of a writer than an artist?
Oh yeah, most definitely. You know, I did draw Argo 5 #1, but I haven't drawn a full comic since. I've done pinups, but definitely acting more as a writer and editor is probably my main function. I should also mention Francisco Zamora did the lettering on the book. So I don't want to leave out any of the credits there. So myself, Ron, Tio, Francisco, Ray, all contributed. And I will say that that bottom right box there is just like a copyright notice that won't be in the book. So anyone who's saying that that looks ugly, I agree. It's just something I put on the preview copy that I sent a few reviewers.
Now, what happened was, see, ladies and gentlemen, is that Dan sent me this preview during the week, and I made a mistake in thinking that the indicia was going to be that big.
Yeah, that'll be on the inside.
No, it's just a placeholder for the preview.
Yeah, just in the preview edition.
Nice, cool. Hang on, we got a couple more messages here. Kerry again. Did Jerome do the art? Oh no, as you just heard, it wasn't me. It was Ron Williams. And play it again, Jerome. I want to see you share so much. You make my eyes tired. Okay, Kerry, I'll run my trailer again later on. In fact, funny thing is, right, we've done this this Kickstarter party so last minute. I didn't even discuss with Pops. Pops is the guy who runs the Madness Entertainment Group. Okay, everyone. So, you know, Pops put it together for us. So we're here now, very last minute. But we haven't actually decided how long we were supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. So I think you should hire Jerome as artist. Oh, thank you very much, Sherry. Dan, did you hear the woman? Did you hear the woman?
Yeah, I have hired Jerome as the artist, but got a pinup coming for El Campeon with a
yes.
Costa Rican superhero. And Jerome has that on his art table right now, or his virtual art table. He has that right now. So, yeah, he's done a bunch of covers. Thunder Guard #1, we got your cover on that.
Yes.
Well, actually, the ThunderGuard backup story had a variant cover by you. Remember with the giant snake and the woman on the snake and the...
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Kerry.
So-
Keep an eye on ThunderZone, Kerry. There's plenty of stuff there that I've done. We've got a couple more messages here. What's this? You're good. Kevin Davis is at 4 p.m. East. Yes. So he's on the network. Kerry's again. Hire Jerome and give him kick up the ass to show his drawing book. Kerry's going to give me a complex. I'm one of the world's worst salesmen, and considering that I spent over 30 years in advertising and design, I'm a classic boomer when it comes to social media. I'm just not go-getting enough. But anyway, enough about me. Back to the book. Okay, so let's go back to the preview. I like the way how Kevin did all of these scenic shots. You know, when I first came to Singapore, Dan, and one thing that I noticed about Asian comics was, generally speaking, they paid more attention to backgrounds than the Western superheroes that I really idolized. Yeah. And, you know, settings and that kind of stuff. Because, you know, it really puts you in the location. And, yeah, I like the way how, you know, I keep going to call this guy. His name is Ron Williams, right?
Ron, yeah. I think at first time I ever mentioned him, I think you were thinking of Ron Wilson.
That's right. Who's a Bronze Age, great Bronze Age artist. So I was getting all excited, so I got the name confused. God damn it, I'm getting old, you know. Right. So yeah, I like, and this scene here, where we see Cosmos, the main guy. Right, we're gonna come to the roll call shortly. And the way he walks in here, then he comes in to this inconspicuous place, but it's a front. It's a front for something else, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And so what's the name of this lady?
That's Rosalie, who mans the counter at the donut shop. But as you said, it's kind of a front to the entrance of their secret headquarters. Secret GWP headquarters.
Yeah. Okay, this is issue number 1.
Yeah.
Is this a mini series? Like, is there a number of comics lined up?
3.
So it's a mini series of 3 parts, yeah?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I like this sign on his chest. And I actually don't want any spoilers. If you're going to reveal later the significance of this emblem on his chest, I'm looking forward to discovering that. So you don't have to say anything about that here. It comes from my graphic design days. I'm a sucker for logos and insignia. Okay, so we can see he's in like a secret lift going on here, right? So then he goes out to some kind of citadel. Ron Williams is, the way how you can tell he's a good storyteller is that you seem to know everything that's going on without even thinking. It's just not, there's no effort to read this comic. It's very effortless because his storytelling is so on point. So then we get down here. All right. And so we got a roll call here, right? So the reason why I'm not sharing screen with the PDF is that I can't zoom in when I do that. So what I'm going to do here is, let me escape my full screen. Now we can get bigger. So here is, we go to this page first, this splash page. And we see the characters, right? So let's just get to know who the characters are. So I'm gonna, so this is the main guy on the left, Cosmos. Now, can I zoom in? Hang on. I thought there was a magnifying glass there. Yes, there is. There it is. I'm so used to using drawing softwares, which are much easier to navigate. Okay, so here, let's get the main protagonist. Hang on. Cosmos, aka Hal Johnson. Now I've got to ask you, Dan, is that got anything to do with Hal Jordan?
No.
Nah? Totally independent, yeah? Okay, good.
Yeah, I had
So
most
he's a
of the
team
names.
leader.
Yeah. He's
Right,
a team
okay, so
leader.
he's team leader with the powers of flight, enhanced strength, and cosmic energy manipulation. And we kind of see that on the front cover. Let me just quickly scroll up here to the front cover. Quickly. Let's say quickly. Let's go to the thumbnail. You see here on the front cover. Here, his fist. I like this cover. That flaming fist. I quite like the depiction on that.
Yeah, he's kind of wielding some cosmic power right there.
Good. Right. So he's Hal Johnson, main guy.
And he was
And
the leader of a super team previous to this. And
okay, is that a spoiler? I didn't see that in the trailer.
yeah. We they met with unfortunate circumstances. And I won't say anything beyond that, but yeah, it does, you know, come into play in the story.
Okay. All right. So then next we get Radioactive Girl, aka Jasmine Wayne, a physics grad student who got exposed to a rare isotope, giving her the ability to fly and generate radioactive fire. Now, slight change of subject here, right? This goes out to anyone out there. We've got a few people watching us. I can see that at the moment. As a sidebar, I was thinking about something recently. When I see radioactive fire, it reminded me of something. I personally have never seen the Human Torch win a fight. If anyone out there has seen the Human Torch win a fight in any comic book, please let me know that comic book. Right, I digress. So we got a lady here who's wielding fire, radioactive fire.
Mm-hmm.
And how old roughly is Jasmine?
I'd say probably like 28.
20, okay, right. Good. Now, for me personally, this next character is my favorite. Now, if my Wacom had been working, this is who I would be drawing now. PHAZE, aka Ted LeCourt, a man who lives in multiple dimensions at once, giving him the ability to shift between them and harness residual chaos energy resulting from it. Now, quick sidebar. Dan has put together ThunderZone, which is a collective of us creators, and we've all come together to create one universe. And the reason why I find this guy interesting is that Dan will know that in my Supercross series, which goes out through ThunderZone, I deal a lot with certain dimensions. So I would like to explore a story with PHAZE later on involving some of my characters, because this dimensions thing I think is interesting.
Yeah, he is existing in multiple dimensions at the same time. So yeah, like you're saying, he's here, but he's in Dimension Z, or he's in, you know, potentially the Argo comics. But all these alien, you know, dimensions as well. And in interacting with them, he can cause effects that happen here. So if he's in some dimension, let's say where everything is liquid, and you can wave your arm and cause a wave, he might do that over there, but impact of that wave could be felt by an opponent here. So, it's a little tricky to write. It's like, I have in Argo 5 Chain Reaction, who, kind of fights by causing chain reactions. And, what a headache for an artist to have him push a kid's skateboard, causing a car to flip over that hits a light pole, and the light pole falls on the villain. It's a little more complicated of a script than, this character punches this character. But when pulled off correctly with the right artist, and you mentioned storytelling, I right now have an Argo 5 story in the works with Ron Williams here. And the very last page he did is a chain reaction. So, so in that respect, having PHAZE in combat, you'll see that it's not, Ted kicks this guy, but, it'll play out, and you'll see how his powers work as the series progresses.
Quick question. Is he ex-military by any chance?
Yeah, I'll leave that for Ray, because Ray is scripting. He's filling in a lot of the backgrounds of these characters.
All right. Okay.
Like, he came up with that physics grad student. So I had certain things with the characters, certain backgrounds, but I don't want to, strangle him with my facts. So
Okay.
I'm letting him have a little play in adding some backstory. So I didn't establish that, but you never know. Ray may have that in there.
All right. Okay. Let's have a quick look at some of these chats. A few people are going off over here. Let's have a look. I love the comic on screen. I definitely want a copy when I get paid. Is this US shipping or? Yes. All the usual stuff, Kerry. This is US. Just go to Kickstarter. But as we said, there's a bit of confusion. It's meant to be a launch at 12:30, but it's been postponed for 4 days. No, so what's the date they give?
They say you'll get a response by June 17th.
Okay, that's 5 days from now. Maybe we can meet back here again. Or meet back on one of my other shows. Right, what's this? Dan, can you remember the first comic that made you love them enough to create your own? Good question.
Can I remember the first comic that made me want to create my own? Yeah, I mean, I got into the indies pretty early on. And I always say that there were like two early, I guess they were like around 86 or so. They had PHAZE 1 from Victory Comics. Not to be confused with PHAZE 1 Phasers from AC Comics. There was PHAZE 1 from Victory Comics that I really liked. And Renegades by Age of Heroes Comics. So they both ran about 4 or 5 issues. But yeah, perhaps in seeing those and seeing like Legion X from Silver Wolf / Greater Mercury comics, they were famous for their character Grips. So those are some earlier indie comics that looked like homemade enough that you can kind of like see yourself doing it. Whereas sometimes if you see the high production on Marvel and DC, you say, I could never, put out something like that.
Oh, okay.
But you get to a point where I think, you can actually these days, and you can see that in
So
the
how old were
GWP.
you? How old were you when you were looking at those comics in the mid '80s? How old were you?
That was like 86 or so. So let's see. So yeah, I'm just like late 20s at that point.
Right. Okay.
29 or
Kerry's
so.
back here. This Kerry's a naughty girl. Look at the guy checking out her boobs. Lol. Well, I suppose now you mention it, Kerry. I say no more. I like her costume, black with the neon lining. Yeah, I like her costume as well. I was in two minds whether to draw PHAZE or Radioactive Girl.
Yeah, they're both. Well, now we have extra time for that. So,
our commentator says this comic looks great. It does, indeed.
yeah, I'll encourage everyone to go sign up for the pre-launch so that when it comes out, you'll know, because, as I said, we couldn't do it now.
Yeah, okay.
See, Terry had also
Foster said,
asked,
only when he goes supernova. Lol.
oh, that's, he's saying when Torch can win a fight, when he goes supernova.
The thing is, right, he goes supernova and he does nothing. I've never, ever seen Johnny Storm win a fight.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, he used to feature in Marvel Team Up. I spent years of reading comics with that guy. He has never, ever landed the finishing blow to anything. Not that I've seen.
Yeah, I can't recall myself.
No. Okay. Last one from Kerry. People forget a stupid question. How many of this comic is there? Oh, we just established, Kerry, it's a 3-part miniseries. That's what it's going to be. That's a valid question these days. You never know how long a series is due to run. Is it indefinite? Or is it 3-part, 4-part, 5-part, what have you? Okay, so back to our roll call. What I say is, we've been here for what? We've been here for 45 minutes already. Could you believe it?
Yeah, time.
So we tried to make this. We make this pre-launch
pre-launch party.
What's this? This the pre-stream pre-launch. Let's call it now. No, this is a
pre-launch party.
A pre-launch stream. I do. We'll probably stay here for an hour or so. We'll wrap up these characters and see what happens, and then maybe we arrange a part 2. So anyway, so what we got here next is the tough guy, Dominico, aka Ray Fernandez, a former amber miner who was experimented upon, giving him super strength and nigh indestructible skin. First question, what is an amber miner?
Okay, amber is a stone. Again, this comes into Ray's domain. It would be good if on our actual pre-launch, if we have to do this again, if I can get Ray in here. He was not available, but
yeah.
That's, again, see, like I said, I didn't try to be overbearing with him. I want him to have contribution. So that was something that Ray had come up with. But as I said, I designed him as a Dominican character. That symbol on the chest you can see is pretty much the Dominican flag. So,
sorry, Dan. I've just Googled what is an amber miner.
Okay.
It's mined from sea bottom and land. It's dug up using ships similar to dredgers that deepen ports and river channels.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I think he's probably going to tie that into maybe the experiment. Maybe it's related. Interesting stuff.
Yeah, you won't see in these 3 issues, you really won't see everyone's origins. If people are, if this meets success and we find ourselves, fortunate enough to do another series, then maybe some of that can be revealed. But there are some series. Yeah, indie comics is a tough road, as we all know. And unfortunately, I've seen the comic where they start with the origin. You buy that first issue. They didn't make it to costume or power usage.
Yes.
And, issue 1 didn't do well enough for them to continue. So now you have this comic where the character's in costume and looks like ready for action on the cover, but in the story, we never get to see anything beyond setting up the origin. So for this book, went straight into the action, and some of that background stuff can be explored at a later date if it.
No, I totally understand that. Well, when I did my Supercross series, that's another book that goes out through ThunderZone as well, everyone. I had the same question, Dan, and I jumped into the story from a perspective that the world is aware of superheroes, and our characters already have their powers. I didn't bother going to the origin. I kind of explained it as the story goes along, but I decided not to start from an origin issue, which was different to what I did with Mega Man. Mega Man is an origin issue, but Supercross, I did the same thing as yourself there. So this guy's quite interesting. And recently on my own show, I did a collection of the Goliaths. You had the different Goliaths: Giant Man, Colossal Boy, Black Goliath. So I was tempted to draw this guy as well. I'm gonna draw these guys. I'm gonna get around to it. Right.
Yeah, he doesn't get Giant Man size. He just stays pretty much where he's at, which is a big dude, but not that big.
Okay, so he doesn't go to those colossal proportions.
No.
Right, okay. I have to say, when I watched the Avengers movie, when Ant-Man became Giant Man, I had my own meltdown as a fanboy. I thought I would never see Giant Man on screen. That was my favorite. Of all the Avengers movies, my favorite scene was when Ant-Man turned into Giant Man. I thought that was fantastic. I was like a child in the cinema. My wife was laughing at me. And so now we come to the Turbo Twins, aka Trey and Shamika Walker, second generation superheroes, and my niece and nephew. They have unmatched acrobatic fighting abilities, specializing in two-person moves, which makes them unbeatable in combat, as long as they stay within 5 feet of each other. Okay, right. Now, I have to ask you the glaring question here, Dan.
Okay.
We've often heard this raised with Batman and Robin maybe being a minor. Are you going to address that big question of putting minors into situations involving adults and danger? Do you ever get into that discussion?
Yeah, well, I think Cosmos, being their uncle, feels he can look over them, train them very highly. I guess as Batman had trained Robin. And since there is some type of twin magic going on where they are unbeatable within 5 feet of each other, he's somewhat confident in their abilities. But no, I'm not going to address it as a real world problem of how are they in today's society letting these kids fight crime. It's kind of like the answer is comic books. It's kind of like, how does Superman fly? There's no jetpack, there's no propulsion. Comic books, that's how he flies. In that respect, why are these kids fighting crime? Comic books.
Yeah, it's a valid point. Sometimes people ask these questions like, you imagine when the Avengers are in space during the Thanos War. No one goes to the bathroom. No one has anything to eat. And they're up there for at least a week, a couple of weeks.
Sure.
When you get the comic books, there's some questions that asking them is I find it quite irritating sometimes.
Yeah,
a bit
well,
like sport party poopers, so to speak.
We've gotten to the point where there's an expected level of realism within comics. So
yeah,
I can understand how these questions are raised, but like I said, the answer for me is comic books. So
yeah, I quite like these. I like all these characters here, actually. I wanted to draw all of them. I was going to try to do a spread of one character central and all the heads around, but I'll make sure my Wacom is not crashed next time. Quick question. Going back to Dominico here. He's got something in his hand.
okay, again, that was just a unique costume element that I did where the palms are green.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, you'll see it in other illustrations because he had that green hit from the flag, has these leaves on the flag, and just in my designing the character, I thought to myself, he needs a little more green to balance it out. And I didn't want a green belt or something. I have to do something different. And then I just figured to myself, what if the palms and fingers were green on the inside? So yeah, this might make it look like he's holding green rock or something, because
okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Again, on a different illustration, you'd see. I think he has fists probably on the cover also, so you probably don't see it there either.
Yes. Yeah. So here, on this last page of the preview, we see PHAZE is in front of the computer monitors. So is he quite a bit of a tech person as well?
Let me see, my computer is lagging behind. I want to see this page here. Yeah, he is one of the people who helps with the tech. He is more tech knowledgeable than most of the others. I'd say him and Cosmos pretty much are more of the tech people within the team.
Within this story, okay, we're approaching the hour. We can start to wrap this up soon. But does anywhere within GWP, do you ever mention any of the other characters within the ThunderZone universe?
No, this series, I'm trying to think if this series was drawn. I have all 3 issues drawn. So that tells you how far back now I'm going with issue 1.
Oh, so this is not new.
Well, it is new. It's never been published. It is new.
Yes.
But the other 2 issues took some time. The coloring took some time. Didn't have the script done. We have other projects that, Sumo Boy was done for quite a while. And it's just a matter of rolling all these out, just like, having the Kickstarters that have each issue. I think Supercross was completed a while back, even Marshall Strong. Maybe not the lettering, but the books were drawn a while back. So most of these projects are things that have been in development for quite some time, to the point where I don't think we really had ThunderZone established when this series was getting done.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at the Turbo Twins, right? And I think a Sumo Boy.
Okay.
They're going to have a crossover, man.
Yeah.
It would be awesome.
They might show up at that school. You never know. They might go to that school.
Yes. Yeah. It's good. All these different characters, even like, you got Meta and his wrestling environment.
Yeah.
Okay, for those of you watching that who may not be familiar with ThunderZone, you've got a number of creators with different things that they specialize in, and they kind of gel in a quite remarkable way, really. And it's get to a point now where, like, when I first saw Marvel team up, I thought that was an extraordinary concept. It just came out of nowhere. I mean, it always had Spider-Man and it always had the Human Torch. But you can see how it came about. And I mean, these characters are all in the same universe. And are they going to meet? Apart from the typical crossovers in the old days. But then, Marvel just decided to go like, they had Marvel team up, Marvel 2-in-1, which always had the Thing. That blew my mind when I was a kid. Was it? And DC had the Brave and the Bold. So good, And now I see the size of ThunderZone. It almost seems like a natural part of evolution.
Well, we had like the Avengers movie where they did all those individual movies and then they all got together. And we had DC kind of rush into the Justice League where, certain characters hadn't established themselves yet. So I think what we're doing in ThunderZone is a little bit more like the Avengers movie plot, where we're establishing everybody, but we are connecting them to some degree in the fact that we've had ThunderGuard come out, and I have the second issue of ThunderGuard on the way. And that's where we see the characters getting together because they all are on the same Earth.
Yes.
So we have them interact in that ThunderGuard book. But I think after we've established everything, Meta has a few issues. You're already leading the pack with 5 issues of Supercross. Now we've had Big House Blues wrap up with 4 issues. We've had Nature Man wrap up with 4 issues. So now we've established the characters. There's something to them to start doing more crossovers and stuff like that. Where we have also our Thunderstruck story that we're waiting on our last chapter on that. And then that's another one that you see the characters involved in a story together. So we're it's getting to a point where we'll be able to do some type of more cool crossovers in that respect. We've had some promotional images where they're all together, but story-wise, there's still more of that to explore.
Nice one. Actually, you mentioned DC there, which I think they kind of blew a really good opportunity, because I'll tell you a quick story about my son, right? Something that I hadn't even thought about was, remember when Ryan Reynolds was Green Lantern?
Okay.
I asked my son if he wanted to watch Green Lantern, and he said he wasn't interested. And I couldn't understand why he would say that. He said to me, that Green Lantern in the movie wasn't Green Lantern. So of course, I've grown up with Hal Jordan and Kyle Rayner. To me, Ryan Reynolds is a perfectly feasible Green Lantern. But what my son said to me was, Green Lantern is black. Then it hit me. He grew up with the Justice League animation.
Yeah.
To all the kids across the world, Green Lantern wasn't Hal Jordan or Kyle Rayner. It was John Stewart.
Yeah.
And for DC not to realize that was a massive piece of incompetence. And by the same token, right, okay, if we're going to get into this diversity thing, right, Cyborg was a very, very popular character in the Teen Titans animation. Now, if DC were on their toes, they would have known that they should have made a Cyborg movie way before Black Panther and Iron Man. They would have had Green Lantern and Cyborg 5-10 years before anything Marvel ever did with the universe. And they would have won that race. But they were just asleep. They just weren't paying attention to what they'd done with the animation. It's a real waste.
Well,
you know?
Yeah, I was kind of against Cyborg being in the Justice League because, you know, he's so intrinsically Teen Titans, and they could have had John Stewart in the Justice League. I think that would have been a better move. And they have the Lanterns show coming up, which has John Stewart and a little older Hal Jordan.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very odd. But okay, we've been here for an hour. And a quick recap, ladies and gentlemen. This was a Kickstarter countdown launch. We got some surprising news of a change at Kickstarter, whereas they're going to vet the story for another 5 days. So it just ended up being a preview show. So we may meet you back here in a week, but thanks so much for tuning in. And of course, you can go to Kickstarter and hit the notification bell so you can be notified when it goes live. And can you put in a pre-launch support, Dan? Is that available?
To do a pre-launch, well, you hit notify me on the
just
pre-launch.
Notify me, right?
Yeah, that's all they have available on the pre-launch. So yeah, you just click the notify me, and then when Kickstarter approves it, then everyone will be notified. We do have just one level that is limited to 5 people. So that's why you do want to hit that notify me, so that if you're interested in that level, which is to have, we're going to have a special cover where people can have their character on the cover with a couple members of GWP. Those 5 will be first come, first serve. So, the Kickstarter level, clicking on that to back that takes up a spot. And once 5 people have done that, no longer available. So hitting the notify me on the pre-launch will, give you a head start on when it launches and being able to get that cover or get in that cover.
Yeah. Here's a variant cover. Okay. Who drew this?
That's by Alexander Nascimento. He did that variant cover B, with Tio Pinheiro doing the colors.
It's very good. I thought I saw some preview pages here before. Did I imagine that? Good Lord.
No, just the preview that I sent you.
Right. It's not on this site, those pages.
No.
I thought I saw them here.
Unless I send you a preview of the Kickstarter itself. That's the only other place where there would have been pages, but not on the pre-launch page. I just kept it simple, let people see a little bit so that they can hit notify me and see the whole deal when it actually launches.
Nice.
One thing I want to mention, you were mentioning your Wacom and having problems. I have a Wacom myself, but the Wacom I had was like an early Wacom where you draw on the tablet and the line shows up on the screen. So there's no screen on the tablet itself.
Yeah.
And I never got the hang of that. I couldn't use that for anything because I guess now
I spent years using those.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, back in the 90s, there was no such thing as a Cintiq or a screen tablet. So we started demonstrating for Wacom the screens back in the late 2000s. So I spent from 1990 up to the mid to late 2000s purely on just normal tablets, no screen.
Okay.
And even to the 2010s, I still use the minus screen. I only started using screens really all the time since about 2018. Before that, sometimes I used the screens, but it was mainly just the normal tablet. But I got so used to it. But yeah, if you don't do it often enough, it is very odd. I remember the first time I ever used a mouse back in the mid 1980s.
Okay.
That was such a bizarre experience. But it's like anything, it's like driving a car, right? If you do it long enough, it becomes intuitive. But yeah,
no
it
doubt
is a
about
strange thing. Well, okay, Dan, thanks for coming in here.
Thank you.
Everyone, I can see we got a few viewers. Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. Watch this space, right? If we get a definite time for when we can go live, we'll see if we can arrange again with the Madness Entertainment Group. And maybe we get one of your script writers in as well, Dan.
Yeah, if we can get Ray available. He's actually graduating with a degree in literature. So just yesterday. So that's led to his not being available. But
congratulations to him, man. Excellent.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll definitely come back on when we have it live so that people can actually check it out and support and get their copy.
Yeah. Don't forget to get over there and hit that notification bell so when it goes live, whether or not you see the pre-launch show, you'll know when it happens. Meanwhile, I'm going to run a couple of trailers here. Thanks so much for tuning in. And any last words to say to the people, Dan?
Don't forget July 4th on Amazon. How to Draw a Character from the ThunderZone.
Yes, I'm going to run that trailer here once again. Kerry, are you watching? I'm chilling. Right, so I'm going to run a number of characters here for the different shows that we've got coming up behind the Madness Entertainment Group as well. Please sit back, relax. And actually, I'll see you back here at 1 a.m. tonight. That's 1 a.m. Saturday morning for Late Night Art Attack, the usual weekly show. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Paying tribute and great homage to the United States of America on its esteemed 250th birthday comes How to Draw Characters from the ThunderZone Activity Book, a 188-page activity book that launches on July 4th, 2026. Written and illustrated by Jerome Judge Hinds, president of the Association of Comic Artists Singapore. Comes the ultimate tribute to the birthplace that brought to the world the splendor of superheroes and comic books. Jerome is a creator and senior editor at USA-based ThunderZone Comics, and in the book, he shares with you the knowledge and methodologies of his work from over the past 8 years, all neatly wrapped up in a 10-chapter step-by-step tutorial. He covers full-length character construction, studies in hands and feet, secrets in foreshortening with props and weapons wielding, plus penciling techniques, inking, digital coloring, and even comic book cover layouts. It's all here and available in both soft or hardcover. And if you really can't wait to get your hands on the physical thing, there's always the digital guidebook edition available for pre-order now. How to Draw Characters from the ThunderZone Activity Book, with Jerome Judge Hinds launching Independence Day 2026. And available now for digital pre-orders, exclusively from Amazon.com.
Previously on Late Night Art Attack. Previously on Super Saturday. Previously on Super Saturday's Draw Along.
That's why I love to draw, and I wanna create Super Saturday, Super Saturday, Super Saturday. Draw along. Super Saturday. Super Saturday. Super Saturday. Draw
along. Ozzy, what are you doing? Come and have a look at this lovely book that was sent over.
You're rapping in the burning.
Oh, go on and spit the bat out your mouth. No one can understand you like that.
Say how 5 dentists and all.
Oh, well, that's not much better. Ozzy, why don't you sing to me? I can always understand you when you sing to me.
Oh, fucking my brains. What is this my publisher sent me? Inked in black with art so sweet.
So what do you think? Do you like it?
Oh, Lord, yeah.
If you like stories about truth, honor, and justice, then you should check out MAGA Man. It is Donald Trump as many now see him, the defender of justice and a warrior for peace through strength. MAGA Man is an all-American style 22-page comic book, so get over to fundmycomic.com and support the culture of truth, honor, and justice. With MAGA Man, the most needed hero of all. MAGA Man.
New York's been quiet, too quiet. But when smoke rises, Cosmos brings the fire. GWP, yeah, we rise from the block. Guys with powers on the move, time to put smoke on lock. He running drugs, running guns, think he can't be stopped. But we the mega hero squad and we taking that shot. GWP, yeah, the city gon' see. When Cosmos calls the plate, that's a whole new league. New York in the business, but we fight as a team. Guys with powers, baby, welcome to the regime.